In the quiet corners of our world, life unfolds on a timescale so different from our own. Here in the heart of the home, a relentless struggle for survival is about to begin. Our story is about the humble lettuce, a plant known scientifically as. We may see it as a simple ingredient for our salads, but it is a highly evolved organism, a living machine powered by sunlight and water. The lettuce is engaged in a constant, invisible battle to grow, thrive, and endure. This journey will delve into the secret life of this remarkable plant. We will reveal how a simple, elegant intervention can unlock its full genetic potential. Science and nature combine to create something truly special. The story of lettuce is more than just gardening, it is a story of life itself. From a tiny seed to a full head of leaves, the process is a small miracle. This narrative will pull back the curtain on that process. We will slow down time to appreciate the small, significant moments in the life of a single lettuce plant. It is a story filled with tension, struggle, and eventual triumph. We will explore how this ordinary vegetable is anything but ordinary. By understanding its needs and its challenges, we can help it flourish. This is not just about growing food, it is about forming a partnership with nature. Our exploration begins not in a garden, but with the potential for a garden, held within a single, tiny package. Our story begins with an object of immense potential, a single lettuce seed. To the naked eye, it is a mere speck, but within lies the blueprint for a complex organism. It carries a genetic legacy honed over thousands of generations. The seed actively waits for a specific sign, a flash of light, to awaken. Many lettuce varieties are photodormant, requiring light to break their slumber. The seed senses its environment, making a critical assessment before committing to growth. It must know if it lies on the soil's surface, with a clear path to the sun, or buried too deep. Starting too deep is a death sentence. The seed must judge perfectly. The lettuce is not passive. From its first moment, it is a sensory organism making a calculated decision. This is the most important decision the seed will ever make. If conditions are right, it bursts forth. If not, its life ends before it begins. The drama of lettuce starts in the silent, dark world of the soil. It begins with this intelligent pause, this moment of consideration. Only a trigger of light initiates the great adventure of growth. The seed's journey is a gamble, a commitment of all its resources. The story of lettuce begins long before the first leaf appears. Once the signal is received, the lettuce transforms from dormant seed to living machine. This machine is a masterpiece of natural engineering, designed for growth. Its structure, from root to leaf, is optimized to convert light, air, and water into life. The leaves are solar panels, capturing energy for photosynthesis. This process turns carbon dioxide into sugars, fueling the plant. Roots anchor the plant and forage for water and minerals. Nutrient-rich water is transported to every cell. The system is efficient, self-regulating, and resilient. Every curve of a leaf, every root, serves a purpose in the drive to grow. The lettuce is a perfect example of form following function. Understanding lettuce as a living machine is key to unlocking its potential. It is a machine we can learn to optimize. The journey of lettuce is a marvel of natural design. The life cycle begins with germination, a process of explosive growth. The seed receives its signal, light and warmth and moisture. The protective seed coat breaks open, marking the point of no return. Two structures emerge, the radicle, or embryonic root, and the cotyledons, the first leaves. The radicle burrows downward, anchoring and seeking water. Simultaneously, the cotyledons push upward, racing to find sunlight. These first leaves are simple, designed to get the operation started. Their goal? Break through the soil before the seed's energy runs out. This dual action is a coordinated dance of survival. The seedling is fueled entirely by the food stored in the seed. If it doesn't reach the sun in time, it perishes. The seed wagers everything on this first critical phase. Germination is a delicate balance. Too much or too little water can be fatal. Excess water creates an oxygen-deficient environment, suffocating roots. Roots need oxygen for respiration. Without it, growth stalls. Wet, airless conditions invite pathogens, leading to damping off disease. The seed's risk is navigating between hydration and suffocation. Temperature is another critical factor. The ideal range signals the cool season, perfect for lettuce. Too cold and germination slows. Too warm and the seed may not sprout. The seed interprets a complex set of environmental cues. It looks for the sweet spot where light, water, and temperature align. A sudden change in conditions can end its life. The seed bets on stability for its chance to grow. The first days of a seedling's life are its most vulnerable. It has spent its energy reserves to break free and send out root and shoot. Now it faces a world full of challenges with almost nothing left. Its first struggle is to push through the soil. Pebbles or compacted earth can be insurmountable. The radicle must navigate soil particles seeking water. The initial root is fragile and must branch out quickly to support the plant. Failure here dooms the plant, no matter how successful the shoot. The seedling competes with others for water, nutrients, and sunlight. The first to emerge and spread leaves gains a crucial advantage. It is a silent but fierce battle for supremacy from day one. The green shoot breaking the surface is a symbol of victory. It means the seed made the right call and won its first battle. Now it can begin its work in the world of light. Within 1 to 2 weeks of its dramatic birth, the young seedling undergoes a fundamental and visible transformation. It has survived the initial gamble of germination, and now begins the next phase of its life. It develops its first true leaves, the ones that bear the characteristic shape and texture of the mature lettuce plant. With the appearance of these new structures, the plant officially graduates from being a dependent embryo, living off stored food, to a fully self-sufficient organism. It is a pivotal moment in its life cycle. These new leaves are the sign that the plant has successfully established itself and is ready to begin the real work of growing. These true leaves are not mere adornments. They are sophisticated miniature solar engines. They are the powerhouses of the plant world, designed with incredible precision to perform their vital function. They begin to arrange themselves in a distinct pattern, a circular rosette that spreads out from the central growing point. This arrangement is a brilliant piece of natural engineering. It is designed to maximize the capture of sunlight, ensuring that each leaf gets its share of energy, without casting too much shade on its neighbors below. This efficient layout is crucial for fueling the rapid growth that is about to begin, turning the plant into a highly effective light harvesting machine. The development of these leaves marks a critical shift in the plant's strategy. Its initial energy was focused on breaking through the soil and reaching the light. Now its energy is channeled into creating the machinery it needs to produce its own food. Each new leaf that unfurls increases the plant's capacity to generate energy, creating a positive feedback loop of growth. More leaves mean more solar panels, which means more energy for making even more leaves. This exponential process is what allows a tiny seedling to become a full head of lettuce in just a matter of weeks, a quiet explosion of green life. This transformation is a testament to the power of the genetic code held within the seed. All the instructions for creating these complex leaves and arranging them in their perfect rosette were present from the very beginning. The seedling is not inventing this process. It is following a time-tested blueprint passed down through countless generations. The emergence of the first true leaves is a declaration of independence. The plant is no longer just surviving on its inheritance. It is now an active participant in its own creation, building its future one leaf at a time and setting the stage for the alchemy to come. The process that powers this new independent life is photosynthesis, a quiet miracle of biological engineering. It's this fundamental process that is the very basis of most life on Earth, and it happens silently within every green leaf. Photosynthesis is really a form of quiet alchemy, a magical transformation of the simplest ingredients into the energy of life. The process begins as the surrounding air, which is rich in carbon dioxide, seeps into the leaf. It enters through millions of microscopic pores called stomata, which are scattered across the leaf surface and function like tiny adjustable mouths, opening and closing to regulate the flow of gases. Once inside the leaf, the carbon dioxide gas circulates through a network of air spaces. It eventually reaches tiny green granules housed within the plant's cells. These granules are known as chloroplasts, and they contain the key ingredient for this entire operation, a pigment called chlorophyll. It's this remarkable green substance that gives plants their characteristic color. More importantly, it's chlorophyll that has the unique ability to harness the raw energy of sunlight. It captures photons of light, using their energy to power the chemical reaction that will create food for the plant and sustain its incredible growth. With the energy from the sun captured, the chlorophyll molecule uses it to perform its magic. It splits water molecules, which have been drawn up from the roots, and combines their hydrogen atoms with the carbon and oxygen from the carbon dioxide. This chemical reaction creates a simple sugar, a form of glucose. This sugar is the direct product of photosynthesis. It's the energy-rich fuel that will power every single activity in the plant's life. It will be used to build new cells, grow new leaves, and expand the root system. As a byproduct of this process, oxygen is released back into the atmosphere through the stomata. The intricate network of veins that we can see tracing patterns on a leaf surface is the plant's circulatory and distribution system. Botanists refer to this branching pattern as reticulate venation. These veins serve a dual purpose in the factory. They are the pipes that transport water from the roots up to the chloroplasts, providing one of the key raw materials for photosynthesis. Once the sugars are manufactured, these same veins act as a distribution network, carrying the newly created energy from the leaf factories to every growing part of the plant, ensuring that even the deepest root has the fuel it needs to function and expand. While the leaves are busy engineering a feast from light and air, another equally important drama is unfolding in the darkness below the soil. A mature lettuce plant is composed of almost 95% water, a staggering statistic that serves as a testament to its profound and constant thirst. The plant's very survival, and its ability to remain crisp and turgid, hinges entirely on the efficiency of its root system. Unlike plants like carrots or dandelions, which have a single deep taproot, lettuce possesses a shallow, fibrous network of roots. This structure makes it particularly effective at capturing surface water but also leaves it vulnerable to drying out quickly. Yet, this shallow system is a marvel of surface area engineering. The main roots branch out into a fine, delicate network of smaller rootlets. Extending from these rootlets is a microscopic fur of even tinier root hairs, structures that are often invisible to the naked eye. This incredible branching multiplies the total absorptive surface of the root system thousands of times over. It creates a vast and intricate web that can make intimate contact with a huge volume of soil particles, maximizing its ability to find and absorb every available drop of water. This network is the plant's lifeline, its connection to the earth. These roots are not passive straws that simply soak up whatever is around them. They are active and highly selective foragers, constantly working to find what the plant needs. They draw in water through a passive process called osmosis, moving it from areas of high concentration in the soil to areas of lower concentration inside the root. But for minerals, the process is active. The roots must expend energy to pump in a precise cocktail of essential inorganic nutrients that are dissolved in that soil water. These include the major nutrients like nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, as well as a host of vital trace elements like calcium, magnesium, and iron. These absorbed minerals are the fundamental building blocks for every new cell, every new leaf, and every step in the plant's silent, determined journey of growth. Nitrogen is essential for creating proteins and chlorophyll. Phosphorus is critical for energy transfer and DNA. Potassium regulates the opening and closing of the stomata. Without this constant and balanced supply of minerals from the roots, the solar factories in the leaves would grind to a halt. The growth above ground is therefore a direct reflection of the health and efficiency of the hidden network operating tirelessly in the darkness below. Having established our lettuce as a marvel of natural engineering, we now introduce the central conflict. We bring this creature of sun, soil, and open space into a deeply unnatural environment, the modern home. While our climate-controlled world offers shelter from the brutalities of weather and many pests, it presents a new set of challenges. These challenges are often profound and can be insurmountable for a plant's fundamental needs. The very act of trying to grow lettuce naturally in a pot indoors creates a difficult paradox. The grower becomes locked in a constant, reactive struggle against an environment that is subtly hostile to the plant's very nature and design. For a sun-loving plant like lettuce, the average home is a veritable desert of light. The primary struggle for any indoor-grown lettuce is the desperate quest for energy. This is an organism designed and perfected over millennia to operate on a full day's worth of direct, powerful sunlight. The research is clear and unequivocal on this point. Lettuce requires a bare minimum of 12 hours of good quality light exposure simply to grow well. For the rapid, lush development we desire, 14 to 16 hours is considered optimal. Even the brightest, most coveted south-facing windowsill is often a poor substitute for the open sky above a garden. A windowsill rarely provides the required duration and, just as importantly, the intensity of light. The plant's response to this energy deficit is a silent, desperate plea for help. It begins to stretch its stems, growing long and spindly in a futile search for a brighter source of light. This condition is known as etiolation, or becoming leggy. The plant is sacrificing its proper form in a desperate gamble to find more energy. Its leaves, unable to produce sufficient chlorophyll without enough light, will often turn a pale, sickly yellow or light green. This is a clear visual sign of a plant that is slowly starving. This is not merely an aesthetic issue for the gardener, it is a sign of a plant in distress. The plant is light-starved, slowly failing to produce the energy it needs to sustain itself, let alone thrive. Its growth will be slow, and the leaves it produces will lack the crisp texture and rich flavor we expect from a healthy lettuce. The very stability and comfort of the indoor environment becomes a trap for the plant. It offers no escape from the dimness, no hope of finding the full sunlight it was born to seek. This constant low-level stress is the first great challenge of indoor gardening. A second, more insidious threat lurks in the comfortable warmth of our centrally heated homes: heat. Lettuce is, by its very nature, a cool season crop. It thrives and produces the best leaves in mild daytime temperatures, ideally between 60 degrees and 70 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 15 to 21 degrees Celsius. When the ambient temperature consistently rises above 75 degrees Fahrenheit, or 24 degrees Celsius, the plant's ancient survival instincts are triggered. It perceives this excessive heat as a clear and present sign of mortal danger. It interprets the warmth as an indication that its environment is becoming inhospitable and that its life may soon come to a premature end. In response to this heat stress, the plant initiates a dramatic process known as bolting. This is a rapid and, for the gardener hoping for a salad, tragic transformation. The plant completely abandons its primary life strategy of producing lush, edible leaves. Instead, it shifts all of its available energy and resources into a single, last-ditch effort to reproduce before it dies. It rapidly elongates, sending up a tall, woody flower stalk in a frantic race to create seeds. Its sole focus becomes passing on its genetic legacy to the next generation before the perceived heat and drought can kill it. This sudden hormonal shift has a devastating effect on the quality of the leaves. The plant begins to produce bitter-tasting chemical compounds, a defense mechanism to deter animals from eating it while it tries to flower. The leaves that were once tender and sweet become tough, bitter, and ultimately inedible. The cozy warmth of a centrally heated room or the direct sun baking a windowsill, conditions designed for our own human comfort, can become the very trigger that cuts the lettuce's productive life short. The plant mistakes our comfort for its own personal emergency, ruining the harvest in the process. This response is a reminder that the plant is still a wild thing at heart. Its instincts are not tuned to the logic of a protected indoor life. They are tuned to the harsh realities of the seasons in the outside world. For the lettuce, prolonged warmth means the arrival of a deadly summer, a time to stop growing leaves and make seeds immediately. This conflict between the plant's ancient programming and the artificial stability of our homes is the second major hurdle. We must provide not just shelter, but the specific cool conditions this plant requires to feel safe enough to grow properly. The final challenge for our indoor lettuce lies in the very medium we choose for it: the pot. A container filled with potting mix is a blunt instrument, a far cry from the complex, living ecosystem of the earth. The shallow, fibrous root system of the lettuce makes it particularly susceptible to the boom and bust cycle of container watering. Because the volume of soil is small, it can dry out with surprising speed. This can cause the plant to wilt dramatically, its leaves drooping as the cells lose turgor. This wilting halts all growth and puts the plant under significant stress, even if it is watered and recovers later. In an attempt to compensate for this rapid drying, a well-meaning grower might overwater. This, however, inadvertently creates a new and equally dangerous crisis. Saturated soil pushes out all the vital air pockets between the particles. This starves the roots of the oxygen they need to respire and function correctly. These wet, airless conditions are the perfect breeding ground for fungal diseases like root rot, which can quickly turn the entire root system into a brown, mushy mess. The grower is forced to walk a constant tightrope between dehydration and suffocation, a difficult balance to maintain in the artificial world of a pot. Nutrient delivery is similarly inefficient and challenging in a container. While a good quality potting mix contains an initial charge of food, this is a finite resource that is quickly used up by a fast-growing plant like lettuce. The plant's roots must constantly expend valuable energy to forage for these nutrients, which are often unevenly distributed throughout the small volume of soil. This is energy that could otherwise be directed toward producing more of the leaves we want to harvest. The pot creates an environment of artificial scarcity, unlike the vast reserves of a garden bed. This highlights the fundamental flaw in the system. Growing lettuce in a pot is not a simple matter of planting it and waiting for a harvest. It becomes a high-maintenance endeavor of constant monitoring and intervention. Gardeners must check soil moisture daily and apply liquid fertilizer on a regular schedule, often every 2 weeks, just to keep up with the plant's demands. This attempt to create a natural environment indoors ironically results in a less stable and more stressful existence for the plant. It is freed from the wild's unpredictability, only to be subjected to the limitations of the pot. Faced with the profound challenges of the indoor world, the dim light, the stressful heat, and the fickle nature of potted soil, a brilliant solution emerges. It is a method of such startling simplicity and elegance that it feels less like a human invention and more like a secret of nature, finally revealed. This is the $10 hack, a technique that sidesteps the problems of traditional indoor gardening by creating a perfect, self-regulating micro-ecosystem for the lettuce. It offers a world without soil, a habitat where the plant is freed from the constant struggle for resources, and empowered to achieve its full genetic potential. This ingenious solution is known as the Kratky method of passive hydroponics. The method is named for its inventor, Dr. B.A. Kratky, a researcher at the University of Hawaii, who developed this wonderfully simple approach to growing plants without soil. Unlike most complex hydroponic systems that rely on a continuous circulation of water using electric pumps, timers, and aerators, the Kratky method is entirely passive. It is a silent, motionless world, a true set-it-and-forget-it system that works in perfect, seamless harmony with the plant's own natural biological processes. There are no moving parts, no electricity is required, and once it is set up, it needs almost no further intervention from the grower until it is time for harvest. The core principle is ingenious in its simplicity. A young plant, such as a lettuce seedling, is placed in a mesh-sided net pot and suspended through a lid over a reservoir of nutrient-rich water. The key to the entire system is the initial water level. It is set so that the very bottom of the growing medium and the tips of the longest initial roots are submerged in the nutrient solution. At the same time, the upper portion of the root system is left completely exposed to the large pocket of air trapped within the container, above the water line. This initial setup creates the perfect starting conditions for both hydration and aeration. As the lettuce plant grows, it draws water from the reservoir to fuel its growth and transpiration, the process of releasing water vapor from its leaves. This natural act of drinking causes the water level in the reservoir to slowly and steadily drop over time. As the water recedes, it leaves behind an ever-expanding gap of humid, oxygen-rich air. The roots that are now exposed to this air adapt and change their function, becoming specialized air roots that absorb the oxygen the plant needs for respiration. Meanwhile, the lower roots continue to grow downward, following the receding water and absorbing the dissolved nutrients, creating a perfect balance. Creating this ideal habitat is a remarkably simple and inexpensive affair, fully validating the central promise of the $10 hack title. The assembly requires no specialized horticultural skills or expensive tools, only a few common items that are either readily available or can be easily repurposed from around the home. This accessibility is what makes the Kratky method so revolutionary for the casual home gardener. It brings the power of advanced hydroponic science out of the commercial greenhouse and places it directly onto the windowsill, making highly efficient food production available to everyone, regardless of their budget or living space. The journey begins with selecting a suitable vessel to serve as the nutrient reservoir. A simple recycled glass jar, such as a 32-ounce wide-mouth mason jar or a large pasta sauce jar, is a perfect choice for growing a single lettuce plant. The most crucial step is to make this vessel completely opaque to light. Any light that penetrates the nutrient solution will trigger a bloom of green algae. This algae will compete directly with the lettuce for the dissolved nutrients and oxygen, effectively starving your plants and ruining the system. This light-proofing can be achieved easily with a few coats of dark spray paint on the outside, a sleeve of black construction paper, or even by wrapping the jar tightly in aluminum foil. Next, a lid is fitted onto the jar. A hole is then cut into the center of this lid, size just large enough to securely hold a standard 2-inch plastic net pot. This net pot acts as the cradle for the young plant, supporting it and allowing its roots to grow down into the reservoir below. The seedling itself is best started in a small, inert growing medium. A 1-inch rock wool cube is an excellent choice as it provides a stable, moisture-wicking base for germination and early growth without becoming waterlogged. The seedling, once it has its first true leaves, is placed directly into the net pot, which is then set into the lid. Finally, the elixir of life is added. The jar is carefully filled with the hydroponic nutrient solution, which is the carefully balanced liquid feast that will fuel the plant's entire accelerated life cycle. This is a mix of water and concentrated liquid or powdered nutrients that provide everything the plant needs. The jar is filled to the point where the water level just touches the bottom of the net pot. This ensures the rock wool cube becomes saturated, providing water to the young seedling, while leaving plenty of air for the upper roots. This simple assembly creates a self-contained, self-regulating biosphere, ready for the plant to thrive. The completed Kratky jar is more than just a container. It is a perfectly balanced micro-ecosystem, uniquely tailored to the needs of the lettuce plant. The system ingeniously provides the three things that roots crave most: constant access to water, a continuous supply of essential nutrients, and an uninterrupted source of oxygen. Unlike in a traditional soil pot, where these three elements are often in flux and competition, the Kratky method provides all of them simultaneously and without compromise. The plant never experiences the stress of drought, because its roots are always reaching the water. It never suffers from suffocation, because the air gap provides ample oxygen. This elegant design solves the most persistent problems of container gardening. The issue of overwatering and underwatering is completely eliminated. The plant itself dictates the rate of water consumption, taking exactly what it needs when it needs it. As it drinks, it automatically creates the air gap for its own roots to breathe. This dynamic relationship between the receding water level and the growing roots is the magic of the system. The plant is not just a passive resident of its habitat, it is the active architect of its own ideal environment. It perfectly regulates its own supply of water and air, a task that a human grower with a watering can struggle to achieve. Furthermore, the problem of nutrient delivery is solved with unparalleled efficiency. In soil, a plant must expend significant energy growing a vast root network to physically search for mineral ions. In the Kratky jar, the nutrients are brought directly to the plant. They are dissolved in the water, already in a form that is immediately bioavailable to the roots. This means the plant can divert all that saved energy previously wasted on foraging, directly into producing what the grower wants: more and larger leaves. The growth is not just healthier, it is fundamentally more energy efficient, which directly translates to faster development. The plant, through its own natural functions, creates and maintains this perfect balance of water, nutrients, and oxygen. It is a beautiful example of biomimicry, where an engineered environment is so perfectly attuned to the plant's needs that it allows the organism's own processes to regulate the entire system. There is no need for human intervention to check soil moisture or to add fertilizer on a schedule. The lettuce simply grows, and in the process of growing, it fine-tunes its own world. This releases the plant from environmental stress, allowing it to focus all its energy on reaching its maximum genetic potential for growth. The claim of growing lettuce at a dramatically faster rate is not a mere marketing slogan. It is actually a quantifiable outcome rooted in the fundamental principles of plant physiology. The Kratky method creates an environment so perfectly optimized that it removes the primary bottlenecks that constrain growth in traditional soil cultivation. By providing a direct, effortless infusion of nutrients, this simple hack allows the lettuce plant to achieve a rate of growth that approaches its maximum genetic potential. The first and most significant advantage of this system comes from the simple shift from soil to a liquid nutrient solution. This is the core of the Hydroponic Advantage and the main driver of accelerated growth. In a traditional pot of soil, a plant must expend a tremendous amount of its metabolic energy. It has to focus on developing a large and complex root system. These roots must physically search through the soil for pockets of water and for mineral nutrients, which are often unevenly distributed. This is a biologically costly and inefficient process for the plant. Hydroponics completely eliminates this struggle. The essential nutrients are not something the plant has to forage for. Instead, they are delivered directly to the roots in a perfectly balanced, ionized, and readily bioavailable form. The plant simply absorbs them with minimal effort. The energy that the plant would have spent on this difficult search for food is now freed up. This saved energy is redirected entirely to what the grower desires most: the rapid production of lush, green leaves. Scientific studies consistently validate this dramatic increase in growth efficiency and speed. Compared to their soil-grown counterparts, hydroponically grown lettuce plants are often observed to be taller, to develop more leaves, and to accumulate biomass at a much faster rate. The plant is not working so hard to find its food, so it can spend all its time eating and growing bigger. This efficiency is why the claim of 30% faster growth is a well-substantiated and even conservative estimate. The hydroponic method alone accounts for a significant boost in performance. The plant is living in a world of abundance with no need to struggle for its basic nutritional needs. It is like trading a life of hard foraging for a life of being served a perfect meal 3 times a day. This constant, easy access to fuel allows the plant's growth engine to run at full throttle, without the interruptions and energy drains that are unavoidable when growing in soil. The second pillar of accelerated growth is the optimization of the plant's entire environment, not just its food source. The Kratky method, by its very design, eliminates the stresses that slow a plant down. The boom and bust cycle of watering that plagues potted plants is gone. The lettuce never experiences the growth-stalling shock of wilting from thirst, nor does it suffer from suffocating in waterlogged soil. The roots have constant access to both water and oxygen in perfect harmony. This stability allows the plant's metabolic processes to run smoothly and continuously, without the constant stops and starts that are typical for a plant in a pot. This stable root environment has a profound effect. When a plant is not stressed, it can dedicate all of its resources to growth. It does not need to waste energy on survival mechanisms like growing tougher, bitter-tasting leaves in response to heat or water stress. The passive, self-regulating nature of the Kratky jar creates a zen-like state for the lettuce. It is a world without worry, where every day is a perfect growing day. This lack of environmental stress is a key factor in both the speed of growth and the final quality of the harvested leaves, which remain tender and sweet. When this perfect root zone is combined with an optimized light source, the effect is compounded. While not part of the basic $10 hack, adding a simple LED grow light removes the final major bottleneck of indoor growing. Photosynthesis does not use all colors of light equally. It is most efficient at absorbing energy from the red and blue parts of the spectrum. Modern LED lights can be engineered to provide these exact wavelengths, delivering a targeted and highly efficient energy source directly to the plant's solar panels, its leaves. This is like giving a high-performance engine the exact type of high-octane fuel it was designed for. This combination of hydroponics and supplemental LED lighting creates a powerful synergy. The hydroponic solution removes the limitations of the root zone, providing a perfect fuel line of nutrients and water. The LED light removes the limitations of the indoor environment, providing a perfect engine of light energy. By addressing the 2 primary constraints on plant growth simultaneously, nutrient acquisition and energy capture, the system allows the lettuce to live its life uninterrupted. The result is a growth rate that is not merely improved over soil, but one that is truly transformed and maximized. Success in this project begins with selecting the right champion for your indoor garden. While nearly any lettuce can be grown this way, some varieties are genetically predisposed to excel. They are perfect for a rapid, indoor, cut-and-come-again system. The ideal candidates are the loose-leaf lettuces. Unlike head lettuces like iceberg or romaine, they do not need a long growth period to form a dense central heart. Loose-leaf varieties grow as open rosettes of individual leaves. This structure makes them perfect for a continuous harvest from a single plant, providing fresh salads for a very long time. This cut-and-come-again method is the key to a sustained harvest. It is a simple and rewarding technique. By carefully trimming only the larger outer leaves about an inch from the base, you can harvest what you need for a meal. This leaves the central growing point of the plant, known as the crown, completely intact and unharmed. The plant, with its perfect supply of light and nutrients from the Kratky system, will continue to produce new, fresh leaves from the center. This turns a single seedling into a long-lasting salad factory on your countertop, providing fresh greens for many weeks. For these indoor systems, specific varieties are highly recommended. Look for types known for their compact growth habits and their reliability in smaller spaces. Varieties such as black-seeded Simpson, a classic and fast-growing looseleaf, are an excellent choice. Tom Thumb is a small butterhead variety that forms a tiny, personal-sized head perfect for a single jar. Baby Oakleaf offers beautiful lobed leaves and is very tender. These varieties are not only quick to grow but also well-suited to the scale of a home system, ensuring a successful and manageable harvest for any beginner. When grown as baby leaf lettuce, these varieties can be ready for their first harvest in as little as 3 to 4 weeks. This is a dramatic acceleration compared to the typical 70 to 80 days required for some head lettuces to mature in a traditional outdoor garden. This speed is one of the greatest rewards of the system. It offers nearly instant gratification and a quick return on your small investment of time and effort. It proves that you do not need a large garden or a long waiting period to enjoy the taste of your very own homegrown food. Ultimately, this journey into the accelerated life of lettuce is about more than a simple gardening hack. It is a personal exploration of the fundamental processes that govern the entire living world. By creating this small, perfect ecosystem on a countertop or a windowsill, we gain a unique and intimate window into the hidden drama of plant life. We get to witness firsthand the elegant solutions that evolution has crafted for survival. We see the plant's perception of light, its constant quest for water, and the quiet daily miracle of photosynthesis happening right before our very eyes. This simple method, in its elegance, reconnects us with the sources of our own sustenance. It closes the gap between the food we eat and the natural world it comes from. In our modern lives, it is easy to forget the journey our food takes. To cultivate a plant, even one single lettuce plant in a jar, is to participate in that journey and to rediscover a sense of wonder. By removing the stresses of its environment and allowing the plant to express its full genetic potential, we are not just growing food faster, we are acting as careful stewards for a small piece of the living world. The final call to action is a simple and open invitation. It is an invitation to take this knowledge, to build this simple habitat, and to start your own journey. It is a chance to work with plants and to make your own corner of the world a little greener and a little more alive. The process is a reward in itself. In doing so, you will not only gain a continuous supply of the freshest, most flavorful greens imaginable, you will also gain a deeper and more profound appreciation for the complex, beautiful, and astonishingly resilient life that surrounds us all every day. There is a unique joy that comes from eating something you have nurtured from a tiny seed. It is a connection that cannot be bought in a store. This project shows that anyone, anywhere, can experience that joy. You do not need a backyard, expensive equipment, or years of experience. All you need is a jar, a seed, and a little bit of light. So, go ahead and try it. Start your own scientific garden story. Witness the accelerated life of lettuce for yourself and discover the simple pleasure of growing.